Have you ever looked at your lab results and wondered, why are my creatinine levels going up when I'm not even doing anything wrong? Or maybe you've watched someone over 60, your mother, your father, maybe even yourself, slow down just a little bit, feeling more tired than usual, swelling around the feet, forgetting small things here and there. And then the doctor says something that hits you in the stomach. Your kidneys are under stress. You sit there thinking, how? I'm eating well. I'm doing my best. What's causing this? And that confusion, that fear, it stays with you. But here's the truth most people never hear. Sometimes it's not the medications, not age alone, not even a disease. Sometimes, it's the foods you've trusted your whole life. Foods you grew up eating. Foods you enjoy. Foods you would never ever suspect. And yet, they may be quietly raising your creatinine levels faster than you think. See, after 60, your kidneys naturally work a little slower. That's normal. That's part of life. But what isn't normal, and what shocks so many seniors, is how quickly creatinine levels rise when the kidneys are pushed even a little too hard. And guess what often pushes them? Not rare foods. Not special diets. But everyday meals. Meals you've cooked for decades. Meals you give your spouse. Meals your parents ate every single day. And the saddest part? You might think you're doing the right thing. You might think you're eating healthy. When in reality, some of those harmless foods may be quietly damaging the kidneys, day by day without any warning signs, until the lab test suddenly exposes the truth. So today, we're pulling back the curtain. You're going to learn 14 common foods, yes, 14, that may be putting your kidneys at risk after 60 and causing creatinine levels to rise. Not in a scary medical jargon way, but in a simple, clear, this actually makes sense way. A few of these foods are things almost everyone believes are healthy, even recommended. But when your kidneys are aging, they can do more harm than good. And I want you to stay with me to the very end because the last 2 foods on this list surprise almost everyone. Some people argue about them. Some swear they're safe. Others avoid them completely. I want you to decide for yourself. But before we begin, do something small that makes a big difference. Comment the word kidneys below. Not just to engage, but as a promise to yourself or to someone you love. A promise that you're taking their health seriously. And if this is your first time here, welcome. This is Golden Years Guide, where we bring clarity, confidence, and science-backed support to seniors, caregivers, and families who want to age with strength, dignity, and peace of mind. You're in the right place. You're among people who care. And today, you're about to learn something that just might protect your kidneys, or the kidneys of someone you love. Number 1. Red meat. Now let's start with the first food on this list, and it's one that so many seniors hold onto tightly, red meat. Picture this for a moment. A senior sits at the dining table, maybe it's your father, your mother, maybe even you, and they say something I've heard 1,000 times in my years working with older adults. I need meat for strength. That's what keeps me going. And on the surface it makes sense. You've eaten meat your whole life. It's familiar. Feels like energy. It feels like nourishment. But then, the creatinine levels creep up. Slowly at first, then faster. And everyone is confused. Here's what's quietly happening inside the body. Red meat contains creatine, a natural compound in muscle. The moment your digestive system breaks it down, it turns directly into creatinine. So every time you eat a large piece of beef, goat meat, pork, or even that special occasion steak, your kidneys suddenly have extra work to do. Now that may not matter when you're 20, 30, or even 50. But after 60, when kidney function naturally slows, it becomes a burden. A real burden. And here's where many families get it wrong. They assume protein means strength, and yes, protein is important. But too much animal protein puts tremendous pressure on aging kidneys. It's the kind of pressure you don't feel immediately, but your lab tests do. The good news? You don't have to give it up completely. Just reduce portion sizes. Or make simple swaps, like adding lentils, beans, or tofu once or twice a week. Your kidneys will feel the difference long before you do. And let me ask you honestly, have you ever found it hard to cut back on red meat? If yes, just comment yes below. You're definitely not alone. Now, let's move on because red meat isn't the only hidden culprit affecting creatinine. Number 2. canned soups and instant noodles. The next food on this list is something almost every senior turns to, especially those living alone or wanting something quick. Canned soups. Instant noodles. Just add hot water meals. They're convenient. They're cheap. And on tired days they feel like a blessing. But inside that small bowl is something your kidneys hate: sodium. A lot of sodium. These foods are packed so full of salt that even a tiny portion can cause fluid retention, higher blood pressure, increased kidney workload, and yes, higher creatinine levels. People often say, "Oh, it's just one small pack," or "I only eat half a can." But with the sodium levels inside these products, even half can be too much for aging kidneys. The simple fix? Switch to low-sodium soups. Or better yet, prepare a quick homemade version with fresh vegetables, water, and herbs. Your kidneys will breathe easier almost immediately. And if you'd love more breakdowns like this, practical, simple, kidney-friendly, go ahead and like this video. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Now, let's move to something almost everybody believes is healthy. Number 3. Dairy products. Yes, dairy. A warm glass of milk before bed. A bit of cheese with breakfast. Yogurt as a snack. For many seniors this is routine. It feels comforting. It feels nutritious. But here's what most people don't realize. Dairy is high in phosphorus and high in protein, both of which create additional strain on kidneys that are already working harder at age 60 and beyond. And here's the common mistake. People think, calcium keeps my bones strong. Milk is good for me. And while that's true, it completely ignores how hard the kidneys have to work to filter the phosphorus, hormones, and proteins in dairy foods. It's not that dairy is bad. It's simply that aging kidneys don't process it as efficiently as they used to. A gentle swap? Try almond milk or rice milk. They're lighter, kidney-friendly, and still give you that creamy texture without the heavy load. Speaking of foods that everyone assumes are healthy, let's talk about one almost every grandmother loves. Number 4. Bananas. Bananas. Soft, easy to chew, easy to digest, sweet and comforting, especially for seniors. It's the go-to-healthy fruit. But here's the truth. Bananas are extremely high in potassium. Normally that's not a problem. Potassium is essential. But when kidneys slow down they struggle to filter out extra potassium. And when potassium builds up, creatinine rises. Swelling increases. The heart becomes strained. And the body feels heavy and tired. The common misconception is that more fruit is always better. But not all fruits behave the same way inside the body, especially after 60. The practical solution? Limit bananas to half at a time. Or rotate with low-potassium fruits like apples, berries, or pineapples. And listen, if you're discovering things today that you've never heard before, and you still haven't subscribed, what? This information protects lives. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Don't miss the videos that could help your kidneys, or someone you love, stay healthy. Now let's move on to the next one. And this one surprises almost everyone. Number 5. Tomatoes and tomato sauce. Tomatoes. They're in stews, in soups, in jollof, in pasta. In some households they're in almost every meal. They feel so fresh, so natural, so harmless. But inside tomatoes are two things that aging kidneys struggle with: high potassium and a strong acidic load. The combination makes it harder for the kidneys to maintain balance, which can push creatinine levels upward, especially when eaten daily. And here's the misconception. People think, it's homemade. That means it's safe. But homemade doesn't change the potassium. Homemade doesn't change the acidity. Homemade doesn't stop the kidneys from struggling. The simple fix? Reduce how often you use tomatoes, or lightly dilute tomato stews and sauces with water and vegetables to lower the concentration. And if tomatoes surprised you, this next one might upset a few people, because it's a fan favorite in many families. Number 6. Fried foods. A plate of fried plantain or golden crispy chicken can feel comforting, especially for seniors who grew up on home-fried meals. The aroma alone can take you back to familiar kitchens and warm memories. But behind that crunch is something the kidneys struggle to handle. When foods are fried, they soak up unhealthy fats, especially trans fats. These fats fuel silent inflammation inside the body. Over time, that inflammation reaches the kidneys, slowing their ability to filter waste. And when filtration slows, creatinine begins to rise. For someone already dealing with declining kidney function, fried foods add extra pressure the kidneys simply can't afford. Mistake. The most dangerous assumption is saying, it's just once in a while, it won't do anything. But for aging kidneys, even occasional fried meals can create repeated inflammatory spikes that accumulate over time. Choose air-fried meals instead. They give you the feeling of crispness without drowning the food in oil, and your kidneys will feel the difference. Comment, "I'll try it," if you're willing to give air frying a chance. Now let's talk about something hidden in nearly every cupboard. Number 7. Table salt and seasoning cubes. Many seniors add just a little extra salt or crumble in a seasoning cube to boost flavor, especially when taste buds become weaker with age. It seems harmless, until the next lab results show creatinine has gone up again and no one understands why. Salt forces the body to hold on to water. That extra water increases blood pressure. And every rise in blood pressure means the kidneys must work harder to filter blood against that pressure. Years of this small but constant strain eventually push the kidneys toward decline, leading to elevated creatinine that never comes back down easily. One common belief is that seasoning cubes are harmless because everyone uses them. But those cubes are packed with concentrated sodium, often far more than regular table salt. Tip: switch to natural flavor enhancers like garlic, parsley, thyme, turmeric, ginger, rosemary, and onion powder. They protect kidney function while still making meals enjoyable. Salt is obvious, but this next one catches seniors off guard. Number 8. Processed meats. Sausages. Hot dogs. Luncheon meat. They're convenient, they last long, and they seem easy for seniors to prepare. But inside these foods is a combination that attacks kidney health from multiple angles. Processed meats contain extremely high sodium levels plus preservatives like nitrates. This combination forces the kidneys to filter more waste than they should, accelerating strain and pushing creatinine upward. For seniors, this stress adds up quickly. Replace processed meats with freshly boiled chicken or turkey. They're gentler on the kidneys, easier to digest, and give you protein without harmful additives. Are you enjoying this breakdown? Like the video to help others find it, and subscribe for more senior-friendly health guidance. And now for a beloved morning habit. Number 9. Coffee. For many seniors, a morning cup of coffee is the spark that starts their day, the warm ritual that provides comfort and alertness. But when kidney function is already delicate, this habit has a hidden effect. Caffeine dehydrates the body. When the body loses water, creatinine becomes more concentrated in the blood. That means even if the kidneys are trying their best, lab results can show an increase simply because there isn't enough fluid to dilute the waste. Dehydration is one of the fastest ways creatinine rises in older adults. Misconception. A common myth is that coffee wakes the kidneys or improves filtration. It doesn't. It only stimulates the nervous system while quietly draining the body of the water the kidneys desperately need. Tip: switch to herbal teas like ginger tea, hibiscus tea, or calming chamomile. They hydrate, soothe, and support kidney health without overstimulating the body. But caffeine isn't the only hidden liquid risk. Number 10. Alcohol. At family gatherings, birthdays, or holidays, many seniors enjoy just one shot or a small glass to feel included. It seems harmless, especially in celebration. But the kidneys experience something very different. Alcohol aggressively dehydrates the body, stripping away the fluid balance kidneys rely on to filter waste. It also damages kidney tissue over time, reducing the number of functioning filtration units. This combination leads to rising creatinine and, in some cases, sudden spikes after long nights of drinking. Tip: if alcohol is part of your lifestyle, hydrate before and after drinking. Water acts as a protective buffer, reducing the shock to the kidneys. Now let's talk about sugars. Number 11. Sugary drinks. Sodas and sweetened beverages may taste refreshing, but for seniors they create a dangerous internal cycle. With every sip, sugar levels rise quickly in the bloodstream. When blood sugar spikes repeatedly, the kidneys are forced to work overtime to filter out the excess. Over the years, this constant pressure weakens the tiny filtration units inside the kidneys, causing damage that slowly raises creatinine. What feels like an innocent drink can quietly break down kidney function without any early warning signs. Tip: choose infused water instead. Add slices of lemon, cucumber, ginger, or mint. It gives flavor, supports hydration, and protects your kidneys. If you agree soda should go, comment yes. And speaking of sugar, number 12. Pastries and white bread. Tea and bread is a classic breakfast in many homes. For decades, it has been the quick, simple way seniors start their morning. But pastries, white bread, and similar foods carry a high glycemic load. That means they turn into sugar almost instantly in the body. The rapid surge forces the kidneys to manage large amounts of glucose repeatedly. Over time, this leads to filtration stress, inflammation, and eventual kidney decline. What seems like a light breakfast can slowly damage kidney health when eaten daily. Tip: switch to whole grain options in moderation. They release sugar more slowly, reduce strain, and support healthier blood sugar levels. Now let's look at one that seems healthy but isn't. 13. Spinach. Spinach is often seen as a nutritious food, and it is, but for seniors with vulnerable kidneys, it carries a hidden challenge. Spinach is very high in oxalates. When oxalates accumulate, they form kidney stones, and these stones block filtration pathways. That blockage causes creatinine to rise, sometimes sharply. Many seniors are shocked when a food they believed was healthy becomes a source of kidney trouble simply because of its oxalate content. Tip: boil spinach and discard the water. This reduces oxalates significantly and makes it safer for kidney health. And the final food, a shocker for many seniors. Number 14. Peanuts and groundnut products. Peanuts and groundnut products are beloved snacks, roasted, boiled, or turned into spreads. But they contain high levels of phosphorus and potassium. For senior kidneys that are already filtering slowly, these minerals can accumulate in the blood. When phosphorus rises, it damages blood vessels and weakens bones. When potassium rises, it stresses the heart and the kidneys together. This combination leads to higher creatinine levels and increased kidney burden. Tip: replace peanuts with small portions of almonds or walnuts. They offer healthy fats without overwhelming the kidneys. If you still haven't subscribed to Golden Years Guide, just tell us in the comments. Why not? We're literally helping protect your health here. Watching creatinine levels rise can feel scary, especially when you believe you're doing everything right. Maybe you've been choosing foods you thought were healthy. Maybe you've been eating the same way for decades. And suddenly a doctor looks you in the eye and says, your kidneys are slowing down. That moment hits differently after 60. It's not just a number on a test. It's fear, worry, and that quiet question that keeps you awake at night. What if things get worse? But here's the truth. Today you've taken back something powerful: understanding. You're no longer guessing or hoping. You're informed. You're aware. You're proactive. And that shift, from confusion to clarity, can change everything for someone over 60. Because kidney decline often doesn't happen overnight. It happens slowly, silently, through everyday habits. And now you know exactly which habits matter. You know what to reduce, what to replace, and what to pay attention to. This isn't fear, this is preparation. This is empowerment. And if you truly want to make a difference today, start with something simple. Call a parent, call a grandparent, call someone you care about. Ask them gently, what have you been eating lately? You might discover that they're doing one or two things that are stressing their kidneys without even realizing it. You might catch a harmful habit before it becomes a bigger problem. Sometimes, that one conversation is the difference between early correction and late complications. And here's the beautiful part. Kidneys can often stabilize and sometimes even improve when you make consistent, loving adjustments. It doesn't take perfection. It doesn't require complicated diets. Just small choices, made with care, repeated over time. You're not powerless. Not today. Not anymore. Right now you have the knowledge and the heart to make a real difference for yourself or someone you love. Let's do a quick recap. These are the 14 everyday foods that can raise creatinine levels after 60. Many of them are foods we grew up eating, foods we love, foods that feel comforting and familiar. But as the kidneys age, even familiar foods can become stressful. Knowing this gives you the ability to protect your body, support your health, and make informed choices every single day. Now let me ask you, which of these foods surprised you the most? Was it something you eat often? Was it something you thought was healthy? Comment below. I'm genuinely curious to hear what stood out to you. And if this video helped you understand your health better, if it gave you clarity, confidence, or even one aha moment, consider subscribing to Golden Years Guide. Here we break down senior health in simple language, caring, practical, and always with your well-being in mind. Your health matters. Your peace of mind matters. And you deserve information that truly supports you. Thank you so much for watching. Stay informed, stay healthy, and remember, every small change adds up. You're doing something meaningful for your future. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.